welcome to another episode of Discover, Fail, and Learn. Today we're going to learn how to make a RetroPie, or at least how I do it, to make it easy. I'm sure there's a lot of videos out there, but I'll just show you what I do to do it. First of all, you need to buy these items. First, you can go on Amazon or on their site here. Is it CanaKit? Buy one of these. I just get the 4GB RAM version. You can pay more for the 8. Seems to be fine. This will cover all the way up to Super Nintendo. Once you start getting to Nintendo 64, it starts lagging and not working great. So I would say, yeah, up to Super Nintendo and back, this will work for. But just to let you know too, be sure you know the legality of all the ROMs. There's a lot of new homebrews out there for systems that you can download or you can buy. I know that was it the 8-bit guy made some games for some of these systems you can do, and there's other items out. Some will just give them to you for free, and other ones you can buy them for a small amount. Yeah, check all that stuff before you download the ROMs. But yeah, you can get them for N60 or not N64. I'm sorry, for Super Nintendo and all the way down to Vectrex to Game Boy to anything. But I'll show you how to set that up. And this is the easy way I do it. Right now, RetroPie supports Raspberry Pi 4. Raspberry Pi 5 is out right now, but it's tricky to set up, I guess. I was kind of reading some of the articles about it. So hopefully soon they will have that set up, and then you can upgrade, get a RetroPie 5, and then maybe that will cover N64. But for now, Raspberry Pi 4 kit is where you want. I have the 4GB RAM one. You can get the 8GB RAM one if you want. I don't think you need it. But yeah, this will come with everything that you need in here. And I'll show you what that comes with in here. Everything to make it nice. And then I would also recommend these. It doesn't have to be this brand, but these Super Nintendo controllers should have all the buttons you need. From Super Nintendo all the way back to Atari and Game Boy and Vectrex and all that good stuff. So that should work. And these are wireless. You can get corded ones if you want, but of course I prefer the wireless. And this comes with 2 things here, and they're not too bad. So this together will run you around 150-ish, but it definitely makes it pretty easy. So all right, let's get started. So first, we'll start with this box here, most important here. Alright, try not to, I'm going to use the camera cable over here. Alright, if you can see that. Alright, those are some things of what to do here. And this will show you the pinout and stuff, which we don't really need. Actually, we will need that because we'll need to know where to plug in the fan for the power, or to cool it off. So keep that over here. Alright, it comes with a cable. This is a micro HDMI, 2.0 HDMI. Comes with the heat sinks, since it can run a little warm. And this is a SD card, 32GB, which should be plenty. And this is the power supply that you need, and you got to be careful because you need a decent power supply to run it. This one is a 5.1 volts, 3.5 amps. So you can see it's pretty hefty on the amps there. So you want to make sure that'll come with it. Like I said, you don't have to worry about it. And let's see, this comes with the all-important Raspberry Pi 4. A little case to put it in. Nice. And then this is just a USB to SD, a mini SD card, so that you can, put the ROMs on there and so forth. And then you'll also need to put the RetroPie software on there. I'll show you how to do that. But that's what this is for. Here's the cute little fan to keep the main processor cool. And this is nice too. This is a little power adapter. I'll show you here. So you plug this in between the power supply so you can turn it on and off. I have an on and off switch. Because the current Raspberry Pi 4 or this Raspberry Pi 4 does not have an on-off switch, so you just have to unplug it, but now you can just use the switch. I think the new Raspberry Pi 5 may have it, but again, that's not supported by RetroPie currently. And then a starting kit. All right. So go ahead and put this away here. All right, let's take out the case first. Nice little plastic case here. Pull that apart right there. And let's get the pie out here. There it is. Some instructions here. Just a normal Raspberry Pi kit here. Model B. Okay. And there you go here. So we could, yeah. Alright. Gives it plenty of cooling here. This is just a plastic case. See, it pops out right here too. Together here, so make sure to put it together right. And there you go. Okay. All right, put that there. Let's get the fan out. This is the one tricky part, really. Is trying to find out where to plug this in. So that's why you'll need this little sheet here. Let's go ahead and lay that on this. And this is for loading the SD card on. Now I'm not going to really need this because I just have a, see if I can grab it here. I'm using a Mac when I load it on, but I have this here. I can just plug in and then just stick the memory in here, so I won't need this. But if you need this, you can stick the little SD card in here and then just stick it in your USB drive, and then you can access that SD card. But I won't be needing this, so I'll just stick this over here. Alright. Let's see. Got the SD card here. Let's open this up. Try to put this where I don't lose it. Okay. Actually, I might stick it in one of my little cases here. 3D printed cases. So I don't lose it. There we go. Alright. So this is the power adapter here. So this will go in between your power adapter. Here is your mini HDMI to standard HDMI converter here. Take these little plugs off. So yeah, as you can see right here is the standards. This will plug into, I think they have multiple ports here. Yep. So you just plug it in there. And then plug this into your standard HDMI. It's kind of cool. You can have dual monitors with this, it looks like. Because you can do this. I don't know about RetroPie. I don't think it supports dual monitors, but... Alright, so there's your cable. Here's all your heat sinks that we'll need. And the power supply. Alright, I'll just keep this coiled up for now. As you can see now, you just plug this right into here. And now, when you can keep this plugged in, and whenever you want to turn it on and off, you just click that. Pretty cool. Nice little addition. Alright. So let's assemble this now. The little card here. Alright, so the processor You can kind of see where this goes here. Basically, you just want the ones that fits. So if you take this off here. Now the key thing to note is you want the airflow to kind of go, I mean, I don't think it's that important, but you want it to go evenly here. So when you put these heat sinks, I wouldn't just randomly put them in any direction. I would put them in the same direction. And this fan will actually go up into here. And I think you want to blow the heat out, because if you think about it, this will be on the top. You want it to suck in from the bottom and heat rises, so you want it to blow it up through the top, because heat rises. So if you look here, does it tell you which direction it goes in? No, it does not. Okay, so now we're going to put this together here. So we're going to have them all, if you look at the case here, it's going to come in through the bottom, so it shouldn't matter too much. We're just going to have them all face, let's do it this way. Just take this, they have little sticky things in the back, just take off that blue film. There we go. And this is the big one for the big processor here. Make sure it's just centered. And just put some pressure on it. There we go. And it makes sense to go that way as well if you want to keep them all in line, because this one right here, obviously you can't put it this way because it's a rectangle, so you're just going to put it this way. I should have put that one on first because it's lower and it's harder to get it in there. This one sticks up more. Okay, push that down in there, and that one goes for that processor. Yep. I'm not sure what chips these are. Does it say? I think this is the main processor. I don't know if that's the video and the, I don't know. Let's see. Ouch. Alright, put the blue off. There we go. And we want it to go this way. Okay. There we go. I think the heat will help stick it a little more. So just pretty much on there. And that's just going to dissipate the heat up to this metal, and they have the fins, and as the air goes over it, cools them off. Alright. So now, actually we're going to get some power here. I'm going to undo this so I can test out some things here. I hear the birds outside. It's spring here already in February. Alright, I'll plug this in. So what we're going to do, we're going to test which way this fan goes first. So if we look right here, we have 5-volt and ground. Alright, pretty simple. I'm going to assume this is the way you read it. This is the way it is, but I should never assume anything. Alright. So right here, all the writing is this way, and this card has all the writing this way. So I believe that means this pin here would be up at the top here. If we do it in the same angles all the text is here, we have 5-volt, 5-volt, and ground. So what we'll want to do is do a 5-volt and ground. I like to stick them next to each other. It doesn't matter which 5-volt you do, so that would be the second pin. There we go, and ground right next to it. It'll just hold it in there a little nicer if they're snug, since they're both squares. Okay. There you go. Now I'm going to double check this. And we're going to plug this in. And the power's on, as you can see from the lights here. And, oh, the fan is spinning. Okay. See if I can see which way the air is coming. Okay. Alright, the air is pushing up towards the logo, so that's perfect. So we're going to go ahead and shut this off now. Okay. So that's working. I'm going to stick this in here. And we're going to have to do it this way. Okay. So it should just pop right in there if you get it the right way. Now this tells you, see it says micro right there, that's where you put the micro card. And the micro card is right underneath, which is interesting. So it's on the bottom of the board, so that means we want the micro card to be here. Because if you don't put it there, you won't be able to put the micro card in. Oh, there you go. So what I had to do is you have to hook it in here, underneath these little plastic tabs here, slide it in, there you go. And then see how they all line up nicely? So now, and then see this circuit board is level with the top of the plastic here. And then you double check here, yep, the SD card will fit right there. So that is a good fit. Alright, so now I need to put this on, and there's the big holes for the network. Make sure I don't pinch this, and that should just fit right on. Nice. And this should fit this way, I believe, because because see, this has two little curls here that fit in here, and all these things won't fit over there, so it has to go on that side. And again, we want this to blow out, so this label will go up. It just pushes right in there. It doesn't clip, it just pushes in there. Sorry for the cat hair. There you go. And then you just push this down there, make sure you're not pinching that wire, and you click it in there. Look at that. So you have a network, USB 3s, USB 2s, two HDMIs. Does it say which one is which? Oh, 0 and 1. So yeah, I'll put it in that one. There's the power. There's a audio if you need it. And SD card. Cool. Alright, so there you go. There's that setup. And I guess we could do this now. This little mini. So we want it in the mini 0. I don't know if it matters, but I'll put it in the mini 0, which is this HDMI 0 right here. And there's only one way you can put it in, so you're going to put that in there right, like that. And then, of course, the power is going to go in here like this. Alright, now we're going to take out the game pads here. So you will get two different game pads. And two different wireless items to plug into the Pi. And then two charging cables. Alright, so we have our controllers here, and we have our wireless USB items that we'll put in the Pi. So with our Pi here, we're going to stick these in the USB ports. You don't need the USB 3, we'll just stick them in the standard ones here. So yeah, you can stick them in the 2 or the 3, it shouldn't really matter much. So stick both of those in there. There we go. Alright, and then for these, I would recommend, these are USB, I recommend charging these up before we boot this up, just to make sure they have okay power. So I'm going to go ahead and get these charging. Alright, I'll go ahead and install RetroPie on that, and then get started with this. Alright, I'm just going to show you about the insertion of the SD card here, since it's kind of different. For most items, you'll know when you put it in, you slide it in, and then you push it and it clicks in, and then when you take it out, you push it again, it clicks, and then you can pull it out. This doesn't have a clicking mechanism, so here's the card here, as there's the top, and you actually have to insert it kind of upside down in here, so you just get it in here. And see, it's a little tricky here. There you go. So you push it in here, and you got to use your nail, and you push it all the way until it stops. Don't push too hard, but see, it doesn't click. So you can see it, when you push it in there, the end is just beyond the end of the plastic there. And just make sure, and that's putting it in. And so to take it out, then you just pull it out with your nail. You don't push it in to click it, and it just comes out. So it just slides in and out. So that's a little different. So just keep that in mind. All right. So now what we need to do is get the RetroPie software on the SD card for the Raspberry Pi 4. So what I did is I actually connected the SD card to the computer here. So here we need to go to retropie.org.uk, and if we go to the home page here, you can see there's a download area here, so we'll click on the download. And here is where we have our options. There's Raspberry Pi 1, 2, 3, and Raspberry Pi 4. So we have a Raspberry Pi 4 with a kit, so we're going to click on that link, and now it's downloading. So if we look right here, it's downloading, and I'm on a Mac again. If you're on a Windows machine, it'll be a little different. And there it downloads an image file, img.gz file. Alright, so now we have the image for that RetroPie. So next what we need to do is put that on the SD card. And the tool I recommend is if you go to Balena, it's they have an etcher. Up here it's etcher.balena.io, and we can go ahead and download that one. I think I already have it installed here, but you go ahead and download that for Windows or Mac and so forth. When you have that tool, double check. Yep, so I've downloaded it already and I have it. Alright, so here's our tool here. So what we're going to choose is from file. So we're going to choose that file we just downloaded, and if we go to downloads here, we have the RetroPie image here that we just downloaded. So we're going to click on that and say open. And then we're going to say select target, and what we want is, I actually plugged in that micro SD card, and that's what this generic disk is here. Just be careful you don't accidentally do another drive. Like I would be quite sad if I wiped out the Samsung drive here. So, and it does warn you, it says it's a large drive. So it's a 32 gigabyte micro SD. So you click on that, and you hit select, and then you hit flash. Okay, so now it's getting the image file, decompressing, and then it's going to put it on that SD card and go flash it. Alright, now it's validating the image. And now we're done. You can flash another one if you want, but we do not, so we're just going to close it out. And now what we're going to do is get that SD card and put it into the Raspberry Pi. Of course, we have to hook the HDMI cable up to a monitor to view that, and we're going to do that next. Alright, so I plugged it in, and then I turned on the Pi, and now as you can see it's booting up, doing its thing. I apologize for the really small text it looks like. And it's just doing all of its fun stuff here. And it's really just gonna kind of, create the directories and do all this setup here. So I'm gonna basically just set all this up. And once I set it up, I can go ahead and put the rounds on it. There you go. So now remember, we plugged in the dongles for the USB wireless controllers. So now I have the controller in my hand that's charged up, and then you hit the start button, and you see well, in this case, a flashing light. Oh, and it says 2 game pads detected. Alright, cool. So it actually sees both of them in here. So now it says hold A button on your device to configure it. So on the one device I have, the first controller, I'm going to hold down the A button. There you go. Now remember, we're configuring this up to Super Nintendo, so we don't have to do all the buttons. But it says the D-pad up. So I'm going to press the up on the D-pad. And now down on the D-pad, left, right, and then it says start. So I'll put start on the on this controller and select. Now it says press the A button, the B button, the X button, and then the Y button. And now it says the left shoulder. This says a shoulder button, so left shoulder, right shoulder. And now here's the tricky part. So we don't have triggers. That's more for the more modern controllers. So what you do is you want it to skip, and if you see up at the top it says hold any button to skip. So we're just going to choose the A button. It doesn't matter. We're going to hold it, and it skipped it. We're going to hold it for the next one, and you have to do this through all these other items. So I'm holding down the A, and it goes to the next one. I let go, hold down the A, let go, hold down the A, let go. And it's kind of annoying, but you got to do this for all the other keys that you're not defining. Okay, hotkey enabled. So what I like to use for the hotkey is a select key. So I just hit select, and there we go. Alright, and I just hit A. And now we're to the RetroPie. And that's most of it now. So see, as you see, we're at the RetroPie, so I can hit A to go in here. And you can set up a whole bunch of stuff here. You really don't need to set up too much. That's really it, what we're going to do. I mean, you could set up Wi-Fi for updates and stuff, but you really don't need to. And we can go through a lot of these other items in a different video. I'm going to hit B to go back. And I'm going to hit start, as you see on the bottom from menu. And I'm going to say quit. So I select it and then hit A. And I'm going to shut it down, because now we're going to put the ROMs on there. So shut down the system. Really shut down. Yes. And it's going to do it. And I don't recommend just turning it off. I'd recommend always shutting it down properly. And then when you see the no signal here, then we can actually turn it off. Alright, now we're going to move to copying the ROMs. Alright, so now what I did is I plugged in the RetroPie to the network. And yeah, so as you can see now, once I plugged it into the network here, I'm on a Mac, I can see the RetroPie appears on the network. So if I look in the RetroPie here, you can see there is a ROMs directory, and it lists all of the different ROMs that I can do here. So if you look at here, let's see, SNES, Super NES, and there you go. And if you get a collection of ROMs, it's good just to kind of get this directory structure, because it has to be exact and have all the ROMs in there, and then you can just copy them over and then just make your life easier. But for now, what I did is I went and downloaded the Pesky Robots by the 8-Bit Guy, and we're going to go ahead and go over and see where I downloaded it here. And as you can see, it's right here. And if I extract that, you have this SMC file here. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to go to the RetroPie, ROMs, and then it's an SE Super Nintendo one. So I go in this directory and I paste it. And there you go. So now that should appear in the Pi. So we'll go ahead and switch over to that. Alright, so now we copied the ROM over, and if we go to the RetroPie here, I went and rebooted it, and as you can see, I gotta hit start on my controller again to sync it. As you can see now, a Super Nintendo appears there because it automatically detects there's a ROM in there. So now if I go to Super Nintendo, hit A, there it is, Pesky Robot. So I can go ahead and click on it. And it'll launch the emulator. And there we go. And so now I have it booting up here. And now I'm going to kind of show you how to set up the controllers. Alright, now it's loading all the, checking all the different drives for games. Alright, so now these items will appear. The items will appear according to what directories have ROMs in them. So when you first start this, there won't be any in there because there won't be any ROMs until we, copy them over. And then for each one you copy over, you'll see all these items appear. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And we set up the controls before, but we're going to add another controller here. We're just going to go through setting up all the controllers here. Configure input. Yes. So I'm going to hold A button on this gamepad. Alright, and it says press anything. You want to press D-pad up, so I'm going to press up. And then D-pad down, left, right, start, select, A, B, and then the X button, the Y button, left shoulder button we do have, and the right shoulder button. It says hold any button to skip up at the top. So I'm just going to hold the A until it goes to the next one. There we go. Hold the A until it goes to the next one. And this is kind of tedious. You kind of got to do this for everyone. So hold A, let go. Hold A, let go. Hold A, let go. And keep doing this until you... And then I just hold until I see it advance. So if I hold it and it switches up, now we can let go. Hold it, it moves up, let go. And now you got to be careful here because we have the last one. Hotkey enable. You press anything. I like to have select as the hotkey, so I'm going to hit select. And then I can hit A for OK. There we go. Are you sure you want to configure? Yes. Okay. So now I did that one, so now I'm going to go ahead and get the other controller. So I'm going to hold A on this one. There we go. Gamepad 2. So this is going to be the second one. And it might be a good idea to label them too. Sometimes what I'll do, so I'll put like a number on one of them for which one's 1 and 2. I think it'll just, whatever first one you connect to it again in the future, it'll treat as 1 and the second one will be 2. So I think it's not, you don't have to worry about it too much. But sometimes I like to just label them. Alright, so now same thing, gamepad 2, we're going to say D-pad up, D-pad down, left, right, start, select, A button, D button, X button, Y button, left shoulder button, right shoulder button. We don't have these again, so hold down A, let go, hold down A, let go, hold down A, let go, and rinse and repeat. And again, you hold it down until you see it move like that, and then you can let go, and then you hold it again, moves, let go, hold it down, let go, hold it down, until hotkey enable, select, and OK. And no, it's going to ask me if I want to do another one. I want to say no. All right, quit. All right, so now we should have 2 controls. Go back, quit. Oh, back. Oh, you gotta hit B to get out of here. Here we go. All right, so let's try a 2-player game. See if we can get it working here. Let's start with Atari 2600. So I'm gonna hit that one. Let's see. Let's do Combat. That was always a 2-player game that came with it. And there's some stuff here. Read about things you can do here. But if you hit select, you can see this jump to, and then I can just say C and then hit A, and now it's going to jump to all the C games. So that'll save you some time if you scroll through. So I'm going to go to Combat here. 32-in-1, is that the one? Tank version. Let's try that version. Oh, there's a 4K version? That's interesting. Alright, so I'm going to try that one. It's going to load it up, and I just want to confirm these controls work. Now, obviously a Super Nintendo controller has a whole bunch of buttons. Atari just had a joystick and 1 button. So it's going to be very limited. And this is not working because I think it's controller 2. So there we go. So yeah, the controller 1 is working. So I'm going to select that one, hit start. And that works. And then that works. Okay, so controller 1. I'm moving it around with this. And if I fire, it looks like B in this case. Okay, yep, B. There you go. Now the other controller I'm going to move around here. I'm going to move this around and hit B. There you go. 2 controllers are working great. Cool. And again, if we want to save the state, I'm not sure if it works for this one. Let's see, select and hold right. Oh, there you go. Save to slot 0. So now if I want to go back there, hit select and left, and it loads it right back up where it was. So that does work. So that's your hotkey select. So you'd hold that down, hit the right bumper like that to save it. With Atari games, it's not as useful, but with if you're playing, say, Mario Brothers and Nintendo, and you want to make it through every time you die or whatever, you could save before a hard point, and then literally you could just hit, save it before there with select right bumper, and then every time you die, just hold down select and hit left, and it loads it right back to where you were. And actually, so it's really useful for that. All right, to get out, you hold select and hit start, and poof, right back to the main menu there. So yeah, both controllers are configured now. It should remember all that, but it works pretty well. Let's see if we can find one of the games here I put. Super Nintendo. I know there was the Petsky Robots. Let's try this game. I've actually never played this game. I just bought it to download it in the emulator. I would like to try the other ones he has. Can't think of the name right offhand, but okay. So it works good. Select map, start. I'm gonna hit A, and all the sound here. They do have the Wii does have like a 1/4-inch jack for sound, but this is HDMI. So if you have it to a TV, all that sound should come through. All right, so hit start. There we go. Cool. All right, hold down again. I don't know if the states work this. It probably does the save state. So select right bumper. Yep, save the slot. So see, I'm right here at this moment. So now I'm going to move way over here and see if I can recall it. So I'm going to hold down select and left bumper. See, it puts me right back there. It's pretty cool. All right, so now I'm going to exit. Oh, I see. Trapped in there. Okay, I'm going to hold down select and start, and then back to the main menu. So now if we go maybe here to the main RetroPie, you can select that, and here's all your different settings. So here's your, your net play and stuff. So you can do some, online multiplayer, which is really cool for systems that you normally couldn't do that for. You can connect it to the Wi-Fi network if you wanted to for, any updates or whatever. Let's see if we can do that here. Oh, there it is. So it's gonna, a lot of these are gonna take you to these, you know, Linux tools, because this runs off of Linux. So it's gonna take you to some configuration programs, see where you can use these. Not as pretty or user friendly, but yeah. So I'm gonna say finish. Import Wi-Fi. Anyway, so you get the idea. I'm just going to exit out of this for now. We can do, you know, if you're interested in it, we can do more of these setups later and how to do it. But really, this is just a good box. You can just take to your TV and just keep running, run games on, and then just keep it disconnected unless you want to do the online play or anything like that. But other than that, works pretty good. Yeah. Some splash screens here. If you want it to look pretty on your TV, you can change those. Again, it's going to take you to one of these. But yeah, so if you're interested in more of that, we can kind of walk through all of those items as well. So there you go. Again, when you shut this down, I recommend, you hit start. You go down to quit and say shut down system. Really shut down, yes. And once it shuts down, it goes through this whole thing. You can shut it down, and then you would, there you go, it's shut down, and then you would turn the power or unplug your device. And that's the best way to go about it. Alright, so there we go. That's basically it. What I like to do, I like to make these for people. So I make this little help sheet here. I could send some links to where you can get this information. But I like to make an easy guide here. It says ports. White and green, and I'll get some electrical tape, mark the white and green, and then put them on the cables that match. So here I have white being power, so they know right to plug it in there. Green being mini HDMI, so they know right to put it in there, so it's pretty user friendly. And then controller, it says, hey, how do you charge it? What do? You press start on the controller to connect it. And what do you do to play a game? How do you select a game? Your quick keys. I remember in the introduction for the controllers, we had to put our hotkey we used to select. If you choose a different one, then this won't be select, of course, it'll be a different key, but in that start, if you want to exit to the emulation station, exit the game, hit select start. With RetroPie, you can also hold down select and hit the right shoulder, and that will save the state. So anytime you can leave the game, come right back there, and it'll instantly bring you right back to where you were in the game, which is really nice. I could have used that back when I was playing NES games, for sure. And then to load the state after you save it, right shoulder, you hit select and left shoulder to load right back to where you were. And then here's the document. So again, I'll put links to how to do these quick keys and so forth. The only thing to be careful of is it's really easy to accidentally hit the wrong button. If you're in the middle of a game and you save it, you'll overwrite that game. So there's ways to do different save states, but just keep in mind that it's really easy to hit that and overwrite your game or load to a previous game. It's almost too easy sometimes. But there you go. So here's the unit setup. The longest thing really is copying over the ROMs. I have a whole bunch of ROMs that I saved. And copying that over took probably about an hour for all those ROMs. So depending how many you do, that could take a while to go over the network. But that's it. Thanks for watching.